Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been hearing my conversation with Gianni Russo. Many people know him from The Godfather. We'll be discussing the 50th anniversary, as well as working with James Caan. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In international news, in Mideast, Biden struggling to shift policy after Trump. Joe Biden took office looking to reshape U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East, putting a premium on promoting democracy and human rights. In reality, he has struggled on several fronts to meaningfully separate his approach from former President Donald Trump's. Biden's visit to the region this week includes a meeting with Saudi Arabia's king and crown prince, the oil-rich kingdom's de facto leader, who U.S. intelligence officials determined to approve the 2018 killing of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey. Biden has pledged as a candidate to recalibrate the U.S. relationship with Saudi Arabia, which he described as a pariah nation after Trump's more accommodating stand, overlooking the kingdom's human rights record and stepping up military sales. But Biden now seems to be making the calculation that there's more to be gained from courting the country than from isolating it. Biden's first stop on his visit to the Mideast will be Israel. Here again, his stance has softened since the firm declarations he made when running for president. As a candidate, Biden condemned Trump administration policy on Israeli settlements in the West Bank. As president, he's been unable to pressure the Israelis to halt the building of Jewish settlements and has offered no new initiatives to restart long-stalled peace talk between Israel and the Palestinians. Now Biden appears to be trying to find greater equilibrium in his Mideast policy, putting focus on what's possible in a complicated part of the world at a time when Israel and some Arab nations are showing greater willingness to work together to isolate Iran, their common enemy, and to consider economic cooperation. Biden on Saturday used an op-ed in the Washington Post, the same pages where Khashoggi's penned much of his criticism of Saudi rule before his death, to declare that the Middle East has become more stable and secure in his nearly 18 months in office, and he pushed back against the notion that his visit to Saudi Arabia amounted to backsliding. In Saudi Arabia, we reversed the blank check policy we inherited, Biden wrote. He also acknowledged that there are many who disagree with his decision to visit the kingdom. Biden also cited as achievements his administration's role in helping arrange a truce in last year's 11-day Israel-Gaza war that diminished capacity of the Islamic State terrorist group in the region and ending the U.S. combat mission in Iraq. But Biden's overall Mideast record is far more complicated, says the Associated Press. He has largely steered away from confronting some of the region's most vexing problems, including some that he faulted Trump for accelerating. In national news, Vernon Winfrey, Oprah's father, dies at 89. Oprah Winfrey's father, Vernon Winfrey, has died. Oprah confirmed in an Instagram post that her father died in Nashville, Tennessee on Friday. Yesterday, with family surrounding his bedside, I had the sacred honor of witnessing the man responsible for my life take his last breath, the media mogul wrote. We could feel peace enter the room at his passing. Details about funeral plans were not immediately released by the Associated Press. Earlier this week, Oprah surprised her father by throwing him a surprise barbecue in Nashville on the 4th of July. The event was called Vernon Winfrey Appreciation Day, which included a barber chair to honor his long career as a barber and owning his own shop in Nashville for nearly 50 years. Vernon served as a member of Nashville's Metro City Council for 16 years and was a trustee for the Tennessee State University. Oprah spent her early childhood at her father's hometown of Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and in Milwaukee with her mother Vernita Lee, who died in 2018. However, she also lived with her father in Nashville between the ages of 7 and 9 and during her teens. In business news, Wall Street expects inflation squeeze on second quarter earnings. Inflation tightened its grip on businesses and consumers during the second quarter, and investors expect to see a dent in the latest round of corporate earnings. Wall Street already had expected relatively muted earnings growth in 2020, following a sharp recovery in 2021 that was driven by pent-up demand from consumers. Analysts, though, have been trimming their already modest forecasts for earnings growth during the April to June quarter. Analysts now expect earnings at companies in the S&P 500 index to grow 4.4% for the period, down from their earlier estimate of 5.8% they were forecasting as of late March. companies have been cautioning investors of weaker results for the period at a greater than normal rate, according to FactSet. And finally, in entertainment news, Thor: Love and Thunder scores franchise best debut. 4 movies in, Thor is still bringing the hammer down at the box office. Thor: Love and Thunder earned $143 million in its opening weekend in North America, according to studio estimates on Sunday. It's a franchise best for The God of Thunder and another success story of the summer 2022 box office season. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Monday's episode of Words I Choose to Live By. Approach today with the attitude that you will get some things right as well as some things wrong. Throughout it all, look at every experience as a lesson that will bring you closer to the person you were meant to be. Have an amazing Monday. Gianni Russo speaks in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Gianni Russo, known from The Godfather as well as the author of Hollywood Godfather, joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his success, the 50th anniversary of The Godfather, as well as James Caan. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Well, look, it's great to speak with you twice in 1 year. As I mentioned, we spoke as The Godfather was celebrating its 50th anniversary. We're back now because of the recent passing also of James Caan. I want to talk to you about this experience for you as you've been talking about this movie and also your book, Hollywood Godfather. What has it been like for you to see how this is still resonating with so many people, Mr. Russo?
Well, it's amazing to me because here we are 52 years later. We made the movie, and it's still a big topic. And now they offer a TV series. I'm a character in a TV series now because of this movie. So it's a gift that doesn't stop giving, fortunately.
You talk about your life before and after The Godfather in your book, Hollywood Godfather, which I read and definitely enjoyed. You also talked, though, about what the dynamics were like with the cast. And, of course, we know, sometimes, there are definitely differences for sure. As we are looking at the passing of James Caan, as I mentioned, is known for a lot of great roles, but especially, of course, a lot of people remember him from The Godfather. What has it been like for you to reflect on your dealings with the cast and Mr. Caan?
Well, I really didn't, I did another movie with Al Pacino, Any Given Sunday. I've done The Freshman with Marlon Brando. I never really did another movie with James Caan. There was a small movie we did and it was never released. But Jimmy and I never got along. But I thought it was just him being a thespian and a method actor. And that was the way he projected on screen is where he projected off screen. So I don't know Jimmy other than being funny.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be able to get on tomorrow's more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, we host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's go make it a great one.